I love great Chardonnay. I don't like ABC, anything but Chardonnay. I'm AAC, all about Chardonnay. When it comes to great Chardonnay, my opinion has really changed on this country and this region. First, I'm talking about Australia, where Chardonnay is the third most planted variety behind Shiraz, Cabernet Sauvignon. There's almost 3 times as much Chardonnay as the next planted variety, Merlot. A lot of people think of Australia as just a warmer region, but it's a huge country. Australia is bigger than all of continental Europe. There are a lot of cooler climate areas. In fact, we have 2 Chardonnays here from cooler climate areas, Victoria, namely the Yarra Valley, and then Western Australia, namely Margaret River. The other region is Oregon. Pinot Noir is the most planted variety there, followed by Pinot Gris, aka Pinot Grigio, and then Chardonnay. When I used to live in Asia and drink a lot of Aussie Chards, I used to think of them as just big, buttery, good, but not super exciting. However, my opinion has changed in the recent years as I've been tasting some excellent examples. In Oregon, I didn't really have much of an opinion about because it's just so known for Pinot Noir. There was a recent article in Venice where Eric Guido talked about how he thinks plantings of Chardonnay will increase because the quality is off the charts. All the Chardonnays I've tasted in the recent couple years from Oregon have been killer. Here today we have 4 Chardonnays, 2 from Oregon, 2 from Australia. We're going to compare them. All 4 of these wines are more expensive Chardonnays. They're all single vineyard wines, so they should be excellent. I'm not going to talk about Chardonnay in great detail because there's a lot of videos on it. Of course, the stronghold is Burgundy, although there's great Chardonnay made all around the world. Most of the finest Chardonnays, with the exception of Chablis, are barrel fermented, which all of these are here. Since the 2 Australian Chardonnays I do have are cooler climate along with Oregon, I expect a little bit more acidity, more citrus fruit flavors, but we'll see. I'm ready to taste. Tasting fine wines, we're going to taste out of a fine glass. This is quickly becoming my favorite. This is the Riedel Performance Pinot Noir glass. It's thin, got these unique optical striations, which Riedel claims increases surface area, makes the wine taste better. Yes, it's a Pinot Noir glass, but it works great with Chardonnays. I love this glass. I'll leave a link in the description box. It's not cheap, but man, it's a heck of a glass. As always, I Coravin these, had somebody mix it up for me. Actually, I had my nephew mix them up for me. He's an aspiring YouTuber. I'll even put his channel link below. 4 wines should be nice and easy. Let's start out with wine number 1. 1 smells cool climate, and it's exactly what I like. This really reminds me of a high-end Oregon wine. Clean and crisp. It's got that beautiful note of lemon, white pear, cooler climate for sure. Just that hint of vanilla, not too much, but just like a little bit of seasoning. Actually, a lot of young white Burgundies can be quite oaky. I do like it when these high-end Chardonnays control the oak. Just use it as like a little bit of salt, little pepper, little seasoning. Very complex mineral. It just smells intense, even a little bit of white flowers. This is a hell of a wine. It's salty, it's minerally, it's got a lot of bright white fruit flavors, citrus notes. The texture is wonderful. It's got a lot of length. Hold on. That's a heck of a wine to start. Let's move on to 2. Wowzers. Wine number 2. 2 smells definitely a little richer. It's got more white peach type flavors, kind of going into yellow peach. Again, a kiss of oak, a little bit of butterscotch even, but not too oaky. Right on the back end of the nose, there is some lemony stuff, some white pepper. Oh, this really reminds me of a lot of the high-end Australian wines that I've been having lately. It smells a little bit riper, a little bit bigger, but on the back end, it's just got this rush of citrusy acidity, a long finish. On the back end, some of these cool climate Chardonnays, it really tastes like lemon sweet tarts. If you've ever had that candy before, sweetness, acidity, that's great. Let's move on to 3. I am treating myself today. Number 3. 3 is lemon, lemon, lemon. 3 is almost Chablis-like, lemon, lime, a little bit of guava. Just like a hint of sweet vanilla. White pepper, these are awesome wines. At first, this tastes like it would be a little bit lean at first, but it has substantial body. That's what I love about good Chardonnay. I feel like it could be big, but if it's got bracing acidity, it really wipes the palate clean. Long finish, that's good. These are some awesome wines. Let's move on to number 4. I am really treating myself today. 4 is the most floral out of all of them. It's not expressing itself the most in terms of fruit flavors. Let me shake it out. Oh, here it comes. The most floral by far. White flower, lilac, quince, white peach, pepper. This has the highest acidity out of all of them. I mean, your mouth waters. When you have wines with high acidity, you gotta pay attention to the saliva in your mouth. Just like if you're having a lemon, your mouth's gonna start to water. Saliva wants to neutralize the acidity. This is high in acid. Woo! This is a wine, number 4. I don't know what it is. Right now, it's not showing the best out of all these wines because I have this much fruit, but I wouldn't be surprised if this wine actually ends up being the best, maybe with time. It's got fruit, but not as much as these ones. It's got that spine of acidity, and white wines that are maybe a little less fruity, more neutral, with high acidity, they tend to like build and add tertiary flavors over time. Of all the wines right now, this is excellent, but this is the wine that I feel like I should lay down in the cellar for a little while. Again, these are 4 single vineyard wines. They're not going to be the easiest wines to find. My point of these videos is not to get you to drink these exact same wines, just to explore a little bit, maybe change your mind a little bit about styles, biases you previously had. Like I said, I used to have a bias against Australian Chardonnay. Now I'm starting to really enjoy it. The funny thing is, after tasting through all these wines, I think only one of them I can identify where it's from. It's the thing about great Chardonnay. It's like a blank canvas, empty palette. Winemakers can do what they want if the quality of fruit is good. All right, wine number 4. Just tasted the most neutral, the one that I thought was floral. I said right now it's not drinking its best, but with time it might end up being the best wine. I gave it 93 points. Floral, let's see. Let me take a look here. This is the Chehalem estate-grown reserve Chardonnay from Dundee Hills, which is a sub-AVA of the Willamette Valley. 2021, this comes in at $45, single vineyard from the Stoller Vineyard, which is their sister property. First time I'm tasting this wine, and lemony, man, lay that bad boy down. I do have a second bottle of that. I'm gonna lay it down in the cellar for quite some time and revisit it. Chehalem is a producer that does excellent Pinot Noir as well, especially at their entry-level price point. Let's move on. It's so funny, in order of preference, my preference went 1, 2, 3, 4, like they were ordered, just how it goes. Wine 3 is lemon, livy, guava. At first, it really, when I smelled it, I was like, oh, this smells like Chablis, but it had a little bit more body at the end. Or maybe you could think even, I've had some Premier Grand Cru Chablis that smelled like that and then had some body. I love the citrus flavors of this. This is 93 plus points. I don't know where it's from. Maybe Oregon too. Let's take a look here. It is from Oregon. This is the Lingua Franca Bunker Hills Chardonnay from Willamette Valley. This comes in at $69. I actually talked to the winemaker a little while ago. He said Bunker Hill is an overlooked vineyard that they found. Beautiful label. Larry Stone is the founder. This is an excellent wine, $69. I know one of my good friends, Clive Pursehouse, who's the editor for Decanter America. He actually scored this wine and scored it quite high. I think it also is an excellent wine. Look here! Aussie Chardonnay's winning again. Let's go to number 2. This is the only one that I thought was Australian Chardonnay for sure. Butterscotch, white pepper. It had just this nice blend of the citrusness, and then also started to go in the ripe fruit flavors. That's why I really liked it. I gave it 94 points. I thought it was an outstanding wine. I only have 2 Aussies left, so they must be Aussie. This is the Vas Felix Hitsbury Chardonnay 2021. This comes in at $75 from Margaret River in Western Australia. Margaret River is an area of Australia which only has about 3% of Australia's vineyards, but I think they estimate like 20% of Australia's fine wines come from that area. Very good producers. Vas Felix was one of, if not the pioneer of the region, the first to plant vineyards there in Margaret River. This is their single vineyard, their top Chardonnay, and I can see why. I know it's not cheap, but that is one heck of a wine. Okay, producer that just continues to impress me. Number 1, salty. I thought it was Oregon, maybe. Cool climate, long, 95 points. I mean, this is extraordinary Chardonnay. This is the Giant Steps Sexton Vineyard Chardonnay from Yarra Valley. This comes in at $65. I wrote down here, it got 97 points from James Halliday, which is the local Aussie critic, although I think his scores are a tad bit high. But man, this is a heck of a wine. Yarra Valley is in Victoria, Australia. It's one of my favorite regions in Australia, just north of Melbourne. You can get excellent Pinot Noir, excellent Chardonnay, some even great cool climate Shiraz, and I've tasted some Bordeaux blends from there that are excellent. It might be my favorite region in Australia, honestly. Some of my favorite producers are there. Giant Steps is one of them. 65 bucks. I know it's expensive, but that is one heck of a wine. So tell me, have you tasted Oregon or Australian Chardonnay before? Do you have some favorite examples? Let me know. Leave it in the comments below.